ever wondered what it's like to tackle not one, not two, but 3 languages all at once? In this video, I'm going to share my personal journey of learning 3 languages simultaneously and the strategies I've developed along the way to make it possible. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel, Monvie. So let's get started. Everyday connections with each language. It's essential to have these everyday connections with all of your languages that you learn. But I don't mean that you have to spend 2 hours per day on each of them. By learning grammar, new vocab, connections with languages can be small and fast, but still very effective. For instance, watching a movie, reading a book, even reviewing stories of Insta blogger who speaks your target language. That's why I love these connections that much, because they change completely this perception of studying, that you just need to read grammar books, to take courses, and that's all. By these connections, you integrate your language to your life and you're very motivated to continue learning it because you're into this process. For sure, relying only on these connections will not afford you to conquer your language fast. So it's better to combine them with studying hours. Regarding myself, every day besides my learning sessions, I find time on these small connections. In the morning, I can read a book in English. After that, to scroll my feed on Insta a bit and watch videos from my favorite French bloggers. In the afternoon, I can watch, for example, an episode of Spanish movie, and in the evening, just to speak to natives in English online. So, as you can see, it's not that difficult, but it's very effective, and furthermore, you just enjoy these different levels in each language. If I learn 3 languages at the same time, it doesn't mean that all of these languages are at the same level. Otherwise, it would be very exhausting and time-wasting to improve all of them. I don't recommend to learn even 2 languages from 0 at once. With each new language, you just take more time from your previous one. You will need to spend a lot of time on learning all of them, and all the information in your brain will be just mixed, even if these 2 languages are completely different and from the different language groups. As for me, when I started learning Spanish, by that time I've already had basics in English, even more than basics. So because of that, I could spend more time on learning Spanish. In a year, when I got enough knowledge in Spanish, I decided to move to Turkish. Turkish was much more difficult than I could imagine, especially after Spanish, because Spanish is not that difficult language, but with Turkish, it took me more time even to understand spoken Turkish. I remember those moments so perfectly when I was just watching videos or series in Turkish for for a year, and I couldn't understand absolutely anything. So as you can understand, I wasn't learning any of my languages from 0 with another one. Now I have pretty high level in Spanish and English, and it allows me to spend more time on learning French. And I don't start learning a new language until I will be sure that my previous one is already at least on the intermediate level. Daily learning sessions. Without learning sessions, just by watching movies in this language, you will not be able to move that forward. I heard that so many times. I learned French just by watching movies for a year, and now I'm fluent in this language. No grammar, no extra learning vocab, just movies, and that's all. Okay, if your goal is only to understand French movies, I got you. And actually, you don't need to learn anything else. However, if you want to communicate with people, movies will not do the whole job for you. Learning a new language requires that you will learn it, and learning is when you learn grammar, words, practice reading, consume content, etc. Of course, it depends on your goal. So before learning any language, define this goal in order then not to waste your time on things that make no sense for you. For instance, when I started learning Turkish, my goal was to understand Turkish movies. Even though I was learning grammar and vocab to make this process of learning faster, but that wasn't that exciting for me. So now I have learning sessions every day for languages that I learn. Overall, I spend 3 hours per day on learning 2 languages, and it's without any extra connections. I study 2 languages per day because I mix Spanish and English. If today I learn Spanish, tomorrow I will learn English. But French I learn daily without any pauses because it's my new language. Of course, you don't have to spend 3 hours every day on learning all of your languages. It's just my way of learning. Even half an hour for each language will be enough. And if your languages are at different levels, you can mix them, that one day you learn this and next day you learn another one. During these learning sessions, I spend my time on learning grammar, reading, expanding my vocab, speaking with myself, and also I improve my pronunciation. And because of these learning sessions, my languages are actually improving every single day. All the languages help me with each other. Just imagine if you would learn Italian and Korean at the same time from zero. These 2 languages are completely different. They don't have any similarities, and of course learning them will take way more time. So it's one more reason why for me learning 3 languages it's not that difficult, because they are a bit similar, especially Spanish and French. From the first days when I started learning French, I was already able to read texts in French. Of course, thanks to Spanish. I mean, I was able to understand them. My pronunciation in French wasn't that good because I think it's obvious that were just first days, but still it really was motivating me a lot that I already can read and understand texts in French. There are a lot of similar words in these 2 languages, and in most cases the only difference is pronunciation. So all of this makes your process of learning easier and faster. When I started learning Spanish, at the same time I was actively learning English, and English was helping me with Spanish hugely. Even though these 2 languages are from different language groups, but still English can help you with Spanish vocab, not with grammar, because with grammar, grammar in Spanish and in English are completely different, but at least with vocab, yeah, it will help you. As a result, learning similar languages helps you to save your time and enjoy this process of learning even more, as when you come across an unknown word and you can just guess its meaning because it's similar to one of the languages that you learn, it brings you pleasure, and the chance that you will remember this word is very high because you've already found an association with another language that you know. However, I don't recommend to learn 2 languages from the same group simultaneously from zero. Otherwise, you will confuse absolutely everything, and this learning process will not become easier, but you will even make everything more difficult. You need to have at least intermediate level in one of them. Structured plan. For each language, you need to have your personal goal. Just learning language because it's beautiful or it's widely spoken, well, it's not gonna work. Clarify this reason for yourself. What is your motivation? As for me, for each language that I learn, I have my personal goal. My learning plan depends on this goal. That's why it's so essential to know your goal beforehand. If you want to use a language in everyday conversations, you need to focus on the same vocab. Meantime, if you need it for your job, your vocab will depend on your field. Even not only vocab, but all the resources that you will use as well. Your goal can change, and it's absolutely okay. If today you need Portuguese because you wanna communicate with people, in 2 months you will get that you need it for your job as well. For instance, as for English, now my goal is to communicate with people, so I watch videos on YouTube with daily vocab. I'm not focused on using difficult grammar tenses, even though I know them. I read articles on different topics to expand my vocab and comprehension. I talk to people online, as it's obvious because I'm currently learning English just for communication. Who knows? Perhaps in the future my goal will change, but now I have this one, so I'm focused on that. You need to have a clear goal for each language that you learn and have your learning plan in accordance with this goal. Learning languages simultaneously might sound a bit challenging, but with the right approach and dedication, it's entirely achievable. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, helpful, give me your thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you soon in my next videos. Bye!